All right, this is the LQ review, and I'm LQ. We're here to talk about movies and comic books and video games and TV and all the geeky stuff that us geeks like to geek out about. Today is my review of Alita: Battle Angel, the new Robert Rodriguez movie, produced and written by James Cameron. And this movie has James Cameron's DNA all over it. Basically, it's about a young girl who is mostly cyborg. She's got what they call a human core. That would be the brain, the heart, some of the other organs, but everything else is cybernetic. So this young girl who is rebuilt by a professor. This is way in the future, obviously, and she tries to start remembering her past. And she starts learning who she really is, and it's really some warrior from a war that happened about 300 years ago, and she's able to kind of reclaim her position as an elite warrior, and starts picking up her battle against the bad guys, the oppressors. And the oppressors are actually living in a city that's floating above everybody else. So let's talk about the good, let's talk about the bad, and then let's give the rating. The good. Rose Salazar as Alita. She does a great job. This is a great motion capture performance. This is a mostly motion capture performance. A lot of the face is animated. Most of the body is animated. And she does a really good job here. Definitely able to convey all the emotion of a character who has the kind of conflict that she's living with. The action was great. Her intensity was great. Rose Salazar knocked this out of the park. I've never really seen anything else that she has been in, but she did a great job here. So I really want to see some more from her. Christoph Waltz plays Dr. Ido. He's the professor that rebuilt her, and he kind of takes that father figure role. He kind of becomes her dad, and Christoph Waltz is great. You know, I don't know that I've ever seen him in a role that I was like, man, he sucked in that. Even the Green Hornet, when he was good in that. He's good in everything that he's in. So it's no surprise that Christoph Waltz did a great job here as that father figure to her, but also was able to carry some action scenes in his own right. So Christoph Waltz, very good. Another good part, Ed Skrein as Zappin, one of the bounty hunters. And he's mostly cyborg. You just had Ed Skrein's face, and then the rest was motion capture performance on a cybernetic body. But Ed Skrein, he had a lot of on-screen presence in Deadpool. He's got a lot of on-screen presence here. Both roles, he played the bad guy, but he does a great job of really bringing charismatic menace to his role. So really liked what Ed Skrein was able to bring to it. This is something you hear a lot about this movie. Action and special effects. Great. I mean, James Cameron is involved, so of course the special effects are going to be groundbreaking, and I can't say that there's anything in this movie that we haven't ever seen, but there's a lot of really great visuals going on here. The action is top-notch, some great fight scenes. There's a few times where they kind of ignore the laws of physics, but top-notch fight scenes here and action. Another good, the world building was great. They definitely did a good job of setting up the world that they inhabit, these characters inhabit, with the floating city, and then the people underneath the floating city that's the oppressed, and how everybody from the world kind of migrated to this city that's underneath the city, and how it's a lot of mixed cultures, and so that was all really good. I would like to see some more exploration in that, if there ever is a sequel, which there probably won't be. So let's get into the bad. What's with the cybernetics? Like, I never really understood why so many people have cybernetic implants. A lot of people put their entire core, brain, heart, eyeballs, their entire core into cybernetic bodies. Why? They never really said why. Were these people who were going to die if they didn't get the cybernetic implants, or were these people who chose, man, I'd really like to have a cybernetic body, and they chose to be put in the cyborg? So, why? They didn't go into that at all. Yeah, there was some cool cybernetic weapons and some cool cybernetic enhancements that these people had, but for me, I wouldn't want to give up my humanity to have my brain put in a cyborg body. So what's the driving force behind that? What's the motivation behind that? They didn't explore that at all. Keenan Johnson as Hugo. He was the love interest of Alita, and again, why? I don't understand why he would be interested in something that's mostly robotic. That'd be like me buying a robot and falling in love with it. I don't understand the motivation behind that. I don't understand the romance there. So Keenan Johnson, I didn't buy the character, didn't really buy the acting job that he did. It just wasn't a well-conceived arc. They tried to create some conflict for her through a romantic involvement, and it just didn't work for me. Finally, this is clearly a movie that they tried to make the first part of a franchise, and I hate it when movies do that, when first movies do that, because you're not guaranteed to get a second movie, so why hold stuff back? And this movie clearly held things back. The main antagonist, we got to barely spend any time with him because they're clearly saving it for a future movie. Put all your cards on the table in the first movie and then worry about a sequel. This movie ain't gonna get a sequel. It's not performing that well. You know, it was an expensive movie to make, and it only made like $25 million opening weekend. Not going to get a sequel. So all these ideas that they got into, we're not going to get to explore them anymore. But as far as the rating is concerned, it's a fun movie. It's a fun ride, great action, great visuals. Could have done better in the character department and the storyline department, but like I said, they held some back. So overall, I give this movie a thumbs up. I recommend that you go see it. PG-13 movie, pretty appropriate for most audiences. I definitely give this one a recommendation. Alita Battle Angel. So thanks for joining me on the LQ Review. Subscribe to my channel, and make sure you find me on Facebook, the LQ Review, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie. Thanks for joining me.